Shalom and welcome to Reaching Higher, a podcast designed for Jewish children where we embark on exciting journeys through interesting and enjoyable subjects. I'm your host, Atara, and together, let's jump in to the wonders that await us. Welcome to our newest episode of Reaching Higher. Our topic for today is food production. You may be thinking, what does that mean? Well, some food is made in your home country and delivered to your supermarkets, but some food is grown around the world and shipped to all different places. How does it get to the country you live in? And how does it get to your supermarket shelves? We will be asking these questions and other questions to make you think. All to our guest, my good friend, Elisheva. As Elisheva will explain, she works for a food company and will share some fascinating things with us. Let's do it. Here's Elisheva. Hi, Elisheva. Thank you so much for coming on our show. Can you tell us where you're from and where you live now?
Hi, Elisheva. I am originally from Teaneck, New Jersey. Grew up with Atara. I am now living in Kiryat Gat, married with my husband Ari and my son Nachshon.
So Elisheva, we know you work at Sugat. Could you tell us what is Sugat and what do they do there?
So Sugat is actually in Kiryat Gat. What it actually stands for is Sugar Kiryat Gat, which not a lot of people know.
Okay, wait, Elisheva. Sugat stands for Sukar Kiryat Gat. Never knew that one before.
Sugat was actually started a while back when Israel first started as a country to supply sugar for everyone living in Israel. And they've since expanded, and now they do rice and they do legumes as well as sugar. And they also now own a cleanup company, salt company, coffee company, oil company, spices, pretty much whatever you need, we have it.
So it sounds like there's a lot to do. I'm sure there are so many different jobs within that umbrella under sugar and all of those things. Can you tell us what your job is and what you do at Sugat?
Yes. So my official title is raw materials procurement, which pretty much means that I am in charge of buying all the rice and the sugar and the sesame and the beans from all over the world, which means that I speak to people from all over the world and I have different contacts over the world, and there's trade shows and meetings and people fly to us and we fly to them. And it's a lot about seeing the whole world and working with people from all over the world, which is very cool.
So where in particular, where do the sugar and the rice, where do they come from?
So everything comes from different places. For example, some beans come from Argentina and some come from Mexico, and chickpeas we have from Mexico and we have from the US, as well as lentils, which also come from Canada. And then we have rice, which, every different type of rice comes from different places. So we get from the US, we get from Thailand, we get from Italy, we get from India, just rices.
Are you in contact with people in all of these different places?
Yes, I am.
Wow. Have you ever visited any of them for your job?
I was actually supposed to go to Morocco. That did not work out just because of timing and everything. I might be going to the Czech Republic soon, but we've had visitors from Thailand and France and the US and Paraguay in the past year, just alone, come to visit our offices.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit? It sounds like the products are coming from all over the world. Can you tell us a little bit of getting the rice from the field into the stores? What's the process of that like?
So what a lot of people don't know actually is that rice is grown in water, called rice paddies. And it's grown in water and then it's harvested with different types of, again, every country has their own methods, but it's then harvested and brought back to warehouses where it's dried and sorted, to take out different things that were gathered up with the rice and just to make sure that everything is more or less uniform with the same rice. And it's then dried. And then there's something called polishing rice. Every grain of rice that you eat is actually polished, like you polish silver. Rice is all polished. And then once that's all done, it's stored. So then depends on where in the world is how they store it. So some people store it in silos. Sugat actually has 4 silos for rice.
What are silos?
And silos are those big, tall, circular things that you always see in like Kansas, like in The Wizard of Oz, and the cyclone comes and knocks down the silo.
Okay.
It's where people keep things that they harvest very often. And some people have warehouses and they just keep them in big bags.
Uh-huh. So how long does this process take from getting it all the way from all these places to your factories or to the supermarkets?
Different items have different amounts of times for all that processing that I was mentioning before. But then in addition to that, there are some items that you specifically want to have aged because like certain rices, they get better aged. So you buy the previous year's crop. So let's say right now I'm buying the crop from 2023 and then I'm packaging it and selling it to stores. So it could only potentially get to stores in 2025, but that's considered better because you want it to be aged.
So parents
Um,
listening, it's like leftovers and old food. That's what we should be serving to our kids. It sounds like we're going to take that. I'm going to take that tip. Thank you. So when all of these
um,
things are packaged for shipping, what do they come in? Are they in big bags, plastic? What do they come in?
so there's different types of bags. So most of the items actually come in bags. Most of them are plastic. Some of them are in like 25 kilo, which is like a suitcase, or 50-kilo bags, which is two suitcases worth of weight. A lot of the items actually come in something called big bags. A big bag can be anywhere from 1 metric ton to 1.2 metric ton. 1.2 metric tons is about 50 suitcases worth
Okay, that's a
of
lot.
rice in one bag. And specifically with sugar, there's actually something called a bulk liner, which is when they take a shipping container and they line it with plastic, and then they just pour sugar in.
No
And then the sugar
packaging.
comes. Nope,
Whoa.
no packaging. The sugar comes, the truck tips backwards, and the sugar comes sliding out.
Okay, it sounds like a dump truck of sugar. Cool.
Pretty much what it is. It's very cool to watch. And then you get sugar powder in your face, and everything's all sticky because it's just free flowing sugar.
Oh my goodness, it sounds like you've
20
experienced this.
uh, daily.
Oh, amazing. So it sounds like a lot of the products that you sell, a lot of them grow from the ground. Does the weather have a big effect on the products? And how does that impact? You said you're importing the stuff and you're waiting for certain amounts to grow. So how does the weather impact your job?
So weather has a big impact, both in terms of it, mostly in terms of harvesting. As we're seeing now with global warming and the weather being completely out of whack, there are places that are not getting enough rain and then the crops aren't growing. So, for example, Argentina this past year did not get a lot of rain. So there's worry that the crop isn't going to be good. And then you have places like India and Mauritius and Thailand that had so much water that they're now having, they had their ports that were closed for weeks because there was typhoons and overflowing water, and they weren't able to harvest in time because there's too much rain and all these different things. So it affects the whole way through.
It sounds like it really does affect. So, about the quality of all these food that you're importing, does the government inspect the quality? And if so, does it take a long time for them to inspect that when every shipment arrives?
Every shipment that comes has to have accompanying documentation that proves that it is food safe and in line with all the requirements of Israel.
Who does that safety check?
The suppliers,
Uh huh.
all of our suppliers have to have safety checks before we even start using them. And then each shipment has something called a certificate of analysis, which says that they're safe and there's no pesticides and they're within regulation for bringing it to Israel and all these things. And similar to when you're leaving the airport and they spot check and they grab random people, the Israeli government does the same. And they here and there will take a container just to open it up and actually check that everything is according to the documents. It can take anywhere from a few hours to a few days, but nothing more than that.
What are some fun facts, Elisheva, about rice or
Sugar, sugar is actually a vegetable.
sugar? Uh-oh. Kids, close your ears. Sugar is a vegetable. Okay. My mind is officially blown. Wow.
Sugar is mined from beets. There's a special type of beet that is grown to be for sugar. And
Okay. So all
it's
sugar is coming from beets or some?
about 50% of sugar comes from
Okay.
beets.
So sugar is a vegetable, but that means kids, you got to eat your beets because it's in the sugar family here. Wow. So any other fun facts that rice or sugar kids might not
I mean,
know?
I can't really beat that one.
Ha ha
Um,
ha.
but there are actually thousands of different types of rice, which most people don't know about. There is white rices, red rices, black rices, brown rices. I've seen green rice. I've seen blue popcorn. I've seen clear popcorn. I've seen freckled beans. I've seen rice made out of wheat and wheat made out of rice. Name it, I've seen it. But
Wow.
yes.
Okay, that was unexpected. Green rice. I'm still stuck on that one.
Yeah.
Elisheva, thank you so much. This has been so interesting. A lot of
Thank
new
you,
facts I didn't
Atara.
know. I'm just a little worried about the sugar being a vegetable because my kids listen to this podcast. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Since this episode is all about food and how it's produced, we decided to see how well you know your brachot on food. So, welcome to the Bracha Bee. We have 8 questions coming at you. So if you have a piece of paper, label them down on the side, numbers 1 through 8. Here we go. Question number 1. What is the bracha on a smoothie filled with lots of fruit and yogurt too? Great job. The bracha on the smoothie is shehakol nihiyeh bidvaro. Question number 2. If you have 2 foods in front of you, which bracha would you make first? The foods are a tomato and a lollipop. Great job. The answer is a tomato because the bracha is borei pri ha'adama, which goes before the bracha on a lollipop, which is shehakol nihiyeh bidvaro. Question number 3. What is the bracha achrona on a piece of cake? You got it. It's al hamichya. Question number 4. What is the bracha rishona and the bracha achrona on rice? Okay, I wasn't trying to trick you there. The bracha rishona on rice is borei minei mezonot, and the bracha achrona is borei nefashot. A little trick of how you could remember this one is the Hebrew letters of Amen. Aleph, Mem, Nun. The Aleph stands for orez, which is rice in Hebrew. The Mem stands for mizonot, and the Nun for nefashot. So for orez, mizonot, nefashot. Question number 5. What bracha do we make on a pomegranate? Good work. A pomegranate is one of the Shivat Haminim, and we make borei peri ha'etz. Question number 6. What is the bracha on a banana? Borei peri ha'adama. Question number 7. What bracha achrona do we make on the Shivat Haminim? If we eat one of the special Shivat Haminim, what is the bracha achrona? The answer is al ha'etz ve'al pri ha'etz. And for our final question, question number 8. What is the bracha rishona on cotton candy, or as we call it in Israel, sarot safta? Amazing job. The bracha on cotton candy is shehakol. That's all for our bracha bee. You can add up your points. Each question is worth 2 points. We hope you did well. Are you ready for some food-related jokes?
Hi, I'm Israel.
Hi, I'm Shalom.
Shalom, I have a joke for you. You want to hear?
Okay.
Why did a girl put sugar under her pillow when she went to sleep?
I don't know.
Because she wanted to have sweet dreams.
That's a good one. I have a joke too. Why did the bean sell his cow?
I have no idea.
The back seat didn't have enough legume.
But Shalom, what's a legume?
Oh, I learned about it in the interview earlier with Elisheva. Since Sugat sells a lot of legumes, she mentioned that word. Legumes are a crop, like a food, like chickpeas, beans, lentils, peas.
Now I get it. Can you tell me the joke again?
Okay, why did the beaner sell his car?
I don't know.
The back seat didn't have enough legume.
Since this episode is all about food, like how it's produced and everything Elisheva taught us in her interview, we asked kids, what food do you like? What is your favorite food?
My name is Adele and my favorite food is hamburgers.
My name is Itma and my favorite food is meat.
Hi, my name is Inun and my favorite food to eat is pizza. My name is Tamima and my favorite food is sushi.
Hi, my name is Matan and my favorite food is sushi.
My name is Avi and my favorite food is Oreos.
My name is Ezra. My favorite food is chips.
Welcome to my kitchen. Today, we are going to be making rock candy. You may be thinking, why did she choose rock candy? Well, the reason I picked rock candy is because really the only ingredient, is sugar, which is what we're learning about today. And if you're in Israel, make sure to use Sugat, Sukar, Kiryat Gat. No, I'm just kidding. You can use any sugar that you have in your house. You'll need a lot of it. In order to make 1 stick of rock candy, you need a skewer, a long stick, a mason jar or a glass cup, and a clothespin or 2. You will also need boiling water and food coloring. The first thing you're going to do is wet the top half of the skewer and coat it in sugar. This will help the sugar crystallize onto it. So let this dry for at least an hour or even up to a day before you continue. Step 2, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure that your jar or your cup is really dry, and then balance your skewer about 1 inch above the bottom of the cup by using clothespins propped up to the sides of the cup or jar. Step number 3 is you're going to boil 1 cup of water, and when it's really, really boiling, this part you need your parents' help for. You're going to add in 2 cups of sugar and mix it until it's fully dissolved. You're going to let that sugar and water mixture simmer for 5 more minutes on a low flame and let it cool down for 10 or 15 minutes. Step number 4, you're going to pour it from the pot into your jar or glass, and this is the time where you could add the food coloring. The next thing you're going to do, step number 5, is you're going to leave this jar with sugar water and the skewer in it for 6 to 7 days. After a day or even after 12 hours, you might start noticing crystals, the sugar crystallizing a little bit. But after a few days, you're going to see it begin to form and harden. And that's all you have to do in order to make rock candy. Enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Reaching Higher. We hope you came out with a lot more knowledge about how food is produced and about rice and sugar. We hope you scored really high in our brachot bee and enjoyed Shalom's and Yisrael's jokes. When you're home on a long summer afternoon, make the rock candy recipe and make sure to send us a picture of it at our email address, reachinghigherpodcast@gmail.com. If you liked this episode, rate it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and make sure to give us 5 stars. We can't wait to see you on next week's episode of Reaching Higher.